is. It absolutely is. So, hey, and welcome to Karandrin Role Playing. I'm Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Crack Palantir. I am your game master and host for the night. For this, the 20th episode of Brise's Tale, which we were going to celebrate with a ton of decorations, but my health problems got in the way. But we're still happy. And Max, my buddy Max, who plays Brise, dutifully all 20 episodes, has got a fun hat on and
Yeah.
decorations that he's hid directly behind him.
Oh yeah, it's not. You can see a little garland over there.
You should, after the break, you should put it on as a necklace. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe we won't take a break. It's the 20th episode. There's no time for breaks.
So for that, this is going to be a 20-hour session.
Yes.
And we are going to beat it down, and we're going to play 20 straight hours.
And for anyone in the chat that stays for 20 straight hours, you get 20 Karandrin points.
You do. You get 20 Karandrin points, which can be used to add to any roll that Max does. So
negative.
Anyway, so welcome everybody. Welcome to episode 20. We left off with Brise in conversation with Adabir regarding, strangely enough, dragons because of the wagon, I should say carriage, the very well-appointed carriage that was found half destroyed up in the trees, and now Brise is just in conversation with him, letting an arm wound heal after a rather unfortunate backlash against attempting to open a magically sealed bag. That's all episode 19. If you've not watched it, hop back there and take a look. Am I missing anything, Max, that we should tell the folks about?
I did discover a new interesting point of interest in the last episode, but I kind of hurried back here to the Mirgral Keep. So hopefully we'll have some time to go back and start exploring the mysterious manor. But
yes,
in terms of my current situation, that's all I need. Me stupid tried to open magic bag and almost died because of it.
Well, I mean, you had to try. I mean, clearly it's...
I really didn't. I mean, I had like 20 mithril already and like magic weapons. And I'm like, I got to see what's in the bag. And
I don't know. I would have tried to open it. I'm a sucker for magic items and treasure. I don't even care about the gold. I care about the cool items and what they do. And so
when you go to Starbucks, you don't even care about the coffee. It's just getting in line.
It is. That's the fun part.
Exercising your consuming power.
That's right. It's the smell of the coffee. It's
anyway.
Yeah. So you are. So you're talking to. Oh yeah, and notice the fun hat on
our plus 50 helm right there.
That's a plus 50 helm, plus 50 substance, and so yeah, it's a fun party hat. I don't know what Elliot Dunovitz, our artist, will think about that. We'll leave that to Max to find out. But yeah, it's a fun party hat. That's the big 2-0. I guess we're gonna try to do like a little micro celebration of goofiness. And I'm gonna be better about it, guys. I'm gonna do my best about every 10 episodes, and we're gonna have a good time with it, and celebrate.
Like anniversaries, 30th is the mithril anniversary. 40th will be
the... So it's like what what's diamond and what's gold? Is diamond 60 and gold is 50?
I'm not married. What are you asking me?
Gold is 50. Was your first anniversary is paper, I think. And so for my first anniversary, I got me and my wife got tickets. See, paper to see the Broadway version of Lion King, the live action Lion King, which I really recommend. It's really quite moving.
Same here.
So let's continue then, unless there's other business I'm forgetting. Let's continue with your conversation with Adabir. You guys had been discussing, because of the damage to the carriage, the fact that the dragons may now be moving again after 150 years of inactivity. Um, um, and so you guys were chatting. You were back at his residence at Lady Miagral's Keep. Um, and what would you like to discuss?
So yeah, I'll procure from my pockets here, or from my bag. I think I'm disrobed or in pajamas or something. I'll pull out the spike from the creature that I battled on the way into the Goblin Mountains. I encountered two of these creatures actually, right? Caught one by surprise, and the other one had to also fight as well.
Right.
I feel like I encountered two of them. But anyway, yeah, this creature covered in like leathery spikes, almost as if it's
Right.
like fur was you know, really matted and like firm spikes. So I took off one of them and showing that to him basically, and I'm like, I had encountered a creature that I was told about. What do I know about it actually? Because the trapper dwarf friend here,
Yeah, he had mentioned to you.
yeah, that are common. They tend to be solitary. You usually don't find more than three of them together. That's all he says though.
Right, sort of hunt in small packs.
And so
Um,
me interested in creatures, to just know more about this creature, to show him this is a spike from this creature. I don't know if you recognize it, but looking for info on it, its behaviors and um, what what kind of creature it is. It seemed, both times I encountered it, it attacked me straight out, so I didn't really have a chance to interact with it.
I have heard tales of such creatures, often attacking camps that are cooking food, or attacking um, riders or wagons, particularly if the animal is wounded. But I don't know anything else about it.
Okay.
Um, Now, it is possible that such a spike might have value to a any sort of potion maker.
Right.
Um, and so you might get a few gold if it's of any use, or you might get an exceptional amount of gold if it's a really fine example of one.
Okay. Yeah. I might try that then.
There is quite a celebrated potion maker here in the keep. Um, it's one of the advantages I knew that we would have um, staying here at Lady Miagral's. Um, should Man, I haven't used our NPC generator in a while because you've been out in the wild for so long.
Yeah.
Um,
I just, by the way, I thought of another thing to ask Adabir. It
yeah,
slipped my mind, but we'll once we get through this.
yeah. But this potion maker, which I'm gonna have to go find our thing and roll it,
Yeah.
um, is I knew
Great.
would be key in helping me um, maintain my health
Oh,
using potions, so that I might be capable of casting the final spells that are so important to our task.
yes.
Um, what is that thing called? It's called the NPC roller. Nope, nope. Where is it called? What is it? Where is it? Oh Lord, what have I done with it? All right, crap. Um, but he has numerous assistants. You'll probably have to go through them. Um, he gives you directions to that part of the keep
Okay.
um, if you're interested. And of course, if if you'd rather, he could just send a he could send a messenger now if you'd like.
Yeah,
Um,
case open. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with like walking, so my arm still probably doesn't move much. But, yeah, so I'd say, yeah, send a messenger and see if you can arrange a meeting.
um, and so he just turns to, he rises. You can tell, like I said, he does definitely look better.
Yeah.
Um, and he rises perfectly eagerly and goes and goes to the door and calls for a messenger to be sent to him, and and uh, um, and then he comes and sits back down, waiting on the boy. Um, so is there anything else you want to
Yeah,
bring up?
I want to, now that we're alone, this was a while ago, but the one, the one who, one of the apprentices, I think it was, Doshrik was his name. Um, so for the viewers, there was this person who showed up. He was basically a bird person, and Anabir claimed it was a like a magical accident, but I could see that there was some untruth in that. We were in a public place, so I think he was trying to keep that a secret. So now that we're alone, I want to ask about Doshrik and
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
who is there a reason he needs to be kept secret? His identity?
Surely you've learned that regular folk don't care much for discussing otherworldly matters. Um, and his is no exception. His history, his story is no exception. To tell people that he literally comes from another world, well, that wouldn't do at all.
Hmm,
Um, so,
nice.
yes, for the moment, we're just going to say that um, that it was a result of some unfortunate mishap,
Yeah.
and leave it be.
What world is he from? Is there a way? I guess it's habitable then for humans.
It is. He called his own land, that is, the world as a whole, he called Grelk. Um, but really, what? Uh, well, and likewise, although his own people, uh, he calls, they call themselves the Finbar.
Hmm. Interesting.
There is an aperture apparently that appears regularly in his world, um, and um, it's of course, fairly terrifying to the run of the mill folk of his world. Um, and it opens here very regularly. Unfortunately, it's some mile up or so above the desert. So only species capable of flight can survive the journey.
Wow. Wow. Well, I might have to meet with him in private at some point and learn a bit about where he comes from. It sounds very interesting.
Well, yes, I would make sure that it's in private.
Of course. Yeah.
Again, if Lady Meagraw believes it to be of use to her, she will have it. Um,
She has one fortress in the Goblin Kingdom and another fortress on the world of Brelk.
that's right. But you can imagine, like, if you are a noble with some, some amount of force,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Finding an aperture like that, you can just establish a little kingdom there, draw taxes from whole different people without any restraint from a king.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds pretty familiar for this country, right?
that's right.
Coral. Hey, Quinn.
Oh no, Quinn is in the
He's
house.
making jokes already.
He can't help it.
It's Finbar, not Thinbar. You goof. I think Quinn might be our most regular viewer.
He's loyal. That's the thing I can tell you. From I have been friends with him. Good Lord, for I guess more than 30 years now. It's crazy. Anybody can hang with me that long, That's a
Her mind is just mush.
that's true. That's true.
It's full of dirty jokes and role playing schemes.
That's also true.
I'm just kidding. Wonderful things. All right, that's all he says.
um,
Get back to his business and all.
I will. Let me give you a word or two um, about our potion master.
Oh yes.
Um, Man, it's been so long since I've used this thing. Um, so it is a female dark dwarf. Um, Named Gania, Gannia, Breglam, Breglam.
No. Got it.
And Potion Master is the title. Generally, you want to refer to her as Master.
Oh, okay.
Um, and you can use Master and her last name or Master and her first name. He tells you. Um, so,
Master.
being a dark dwarf, her hair is.
It's like black hair and very pale features, right?
Yes. Um, so, as well as black eyes, often dresses
Black charm.
in sort of a very strange, um, um, sort of a strange, elaborate, multicolored robe, layered robe.
Oh,
Um, well, let me see.
when there can be cake if you bake us a cake.
That's right.
It's
I was told there'd be cake. Yeah.
episode 20.
Woo! Big two. That's right.
I would celebrate with a bit of silliness.
Tells you that she's well humored. Would you roll for me while I'm typing this stuff up?
31.
And of course, knowledgeable about a number of areas. Um, I've heard people be really shocked, comment on her great knowledge, but in a particular area. But I always miss which area it is.
Oh, I see. Okay. She knows she's very knowledgeable about a certain area.
Right. Um,
Demons.
So,
All right. Well, I'll await word on meeting with her. Then.
and it'll probably be with an apprentice and that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So, hey, where's that thing? Oh, there it is. So, but yeah, I mean, he tells you, for any sort of thing that you might come across that might be worthy of the potions, he said, but she'll be useful, or her whole department will be useful. You
Right.
can get gold out of them, but he urges you again not to mention the strange trees. He urges you to get rid of what's in that vial
Oh,
that you've
really?
got.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. You didn't say that last time.
No, but
Kind
as
of
he thinks
implied.
about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
he says it's not unlikely that they're going through our things.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, um, so
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll probably just go back to the camp at some point and just leave it there. So if I do need to come back for it, it still
right.
is at least my
Um,
wilderness storage.
so, um, oh Lord, where's her height? All right, Sue. Then, um, anything else you wanted to ask?
Nope. I think that's good.
Um, he gives you, squeeze of your shoulder and gets up, and he wishes you luck. He asks you what if you plan on staying for a while.
It depends how my arm recovers, I guess. I might stay a day, see how I feel tomorrow. I think is the game plan.
And you're looking, and what's the date today?
It is the 22nd.
22nd. So yeah, sometime on the 23rd, of course, Aldrich hopefully will be here.
Right. Tomorrow.
Um,
So actually, that's a good plan. I might stay here, the day and see if he does appear on schedule.
right. And
I think that'd be a very in character thing to do, right? It's like it's the earliest date, my very
possible.
attractive boyfriend could appear. So I'm obviously going to be there at that time,
Right.
twiddling my thumbs.
Right. I remember those days when I was young and more stupid than I am now, which is hard to
I'll
fathom.
call you in an hour, honey, and it's like calls you back. It's been 5 minutes. Like, where are you?
I missed your voice. Yeah. I miss you more. Um, all right. Well, if you are going to stay, how do you wish to pass the time?
Well, I will.
Of course, I don't know. You do have time to. Um, um, you do have time to go and explore and be back this evening.
Yeah, the thing I'm concerned about is my arm. Like my left arm is my dominant arm. If I run into any monsters, it could be a severe disadvantage.
Well, and I would assume. Well, that's fine. You can sort of debate that and so on. The he tells you it'd be great if you stay around. That's fine. Of course, he knows that Aldrich, with any luck, will be here very soon. And um, and so he leaves. You hear him speak to the maids, the late. and
66.
it says, send the messenger in to him. and to her, and then he goes about his business. A few minutes later, sure enough, young goblin runner is led into your room. The maid asks you if you need anything. Hey, lizard in tux, welcome.
Yo.
Um, and so I think you're fed. I don't think you really need anything.
I just had breakfast.
Roll for me.
Take some ale from the kitchen. It's
That's right.
65.
They ask you pointedly if you need anything from your room.
No, I can go that myself. If I need anything, I'll get it. I'm not trusting. No, read through my stuff.
Exactly. So the runner boy, is ready to take your message. Um, and you can just say, "Hey, I'd like to meet with I've got a possible potion ingredient,
Right.
and it would, but I'm injured. Could you send someone here, to discuss it with me,
Mhm.
And so
Gravely wounded.
exactly. So off he runs, um, and in so several minutes pass. You're just kind of relaxing and enjoying, having a couch to sit on as opposed to the ground. Um, you seem a little out of focus, Max. It's
Really?
weird. Do you look good on your end? Do you think you're at 480 again?
480. Damn, I forgot to change it back. So everybody, my internet is now permanently fixed. There we go. It should be crisper now.
You are so crisp and sexy.
Crisp. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Facing Heidi to all my stubble.
Oh, lizard and tux. The hat is the hat on both our player and our character is that's for our 20th. That's for our 20th episode celebration.
20th
So,
stream.
so I think what I've decided to do, by the way, is I think I'm going to get a hat, and then I'm going to put Velcro on it up here, and then I'm going to go get some glittery numbers, right, and put Velcro on the back of them, and that way I can change it every time, and stick it all over, and be
Way to one up me.
ridiculous.
That is a pretty idea, though.
Yeah, I want it to be something so that we can, so it can be interchangeable, but I also I want it to be ridiculous.
Of course.
So off he runs. You wait several minutes. There's a tap at the door. The healer comes in. The personal physician comes in, the goblin physician, and removes the wrapping from your arm, and the wound is gone.
Ah,
And he moves it gingerly, and you can tell you have power in it. And so you are healed.
well, I ask him, knowing I'm basically garbage at first aid. Wow, that's impressive. What must be some crazy trade secrets, right?
He would know, of course.
Very secret herbs that probably are very hard to acquire.
You're probably going to see this guy again. I probably should roll him up as well.
Sure.
Um, an older goblin male.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's you needed two considerable herbs. You needed Arpsisar
Oh yeah.
to heal a torn muscle, and you need um, um, let me see which one it would. There we go. And you needed Heg, Heg. Oh, and remember we had the conversation about build relationships like, either by bribing or by socially or
Yeah.
whatever. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
this is probably definitely somebody I want to build a relationship with, at least for his knowledge
right.
in healing stuff. So, I will. I'll just straight up, yeah, like offer him some, gold. It's thank you for your services. It's
How much you gonna give him?
I'll give him. Oh, I mean, I get. So would I know, like, from being a kid, ever having to go to the doctor, have a physician, how much like my parents charged? I
You know
really
that
don't
they're
know.
well paid. You know that they're well paid. They're well valued by communities, and this one especially so if they're in the service of a nobleman, a
Yeah,
noblewoman in this
my
instance.
significant
Um,
income.
right. Um,
5 gold seemed a pretty reasonable.
well, if when in doubt, go higher. I mean, right? I mean, that's you know.
Right, right. Okay. I'll give him 10 gold then.
Um, um, says most generous. Um, well, he stops and you guys just talk for quite a while. You guys really hit it off.
Nice.
Um, you guys, he kind of tests you in terms of wit, and you're like, this is why I love you guys. You guys are, goblins are always giving each other shit, and it's fun, and it's you're less guarded, um, and so you hold your own and make him laugh and take him aback a couple of times, and he's very curious about you, and um, he's clearly he knows that from his conversation it's evident that that was a magical blow. He's
Mm,
seen that kind of thing before. I should do this arm, right? It's the left arm.
yeah.
And so, from some of the burning that was on it and everything, um, um, he could tell it was magical. He's very interested in adventurers and so on. He never had the courage to do it himself. Um, and um, so you guys really hit it off, and you guys talk for a great while. Um, in the meantime, your boy comes back. Um, um, there, and he's got a written message for you. It's sealed. Um, he passes it to you and waits. Oh, you may want to throw him a few copper, just because he's got to make a living.
I'll throw in 3 copper.
Um, they should have someone over soon. Um, so let's talk about just in the course of this conversation. There is just generally getting to know him and so on. Um, and I should probably have my note taking open so I can just put down facts that we learned about him. Um, um, but
Like
do
what?
you have sort of goals as he warms to you? Right?
Yeah.
Do you have goals in this conversation?
Well, access to some of his herbs would be nice if everyone
Well,
to
sure. I mean, oh,
have me purchase them often.
you
Like
mean
I said,
like actually?
like I tell them, like, I'm going to be out adventuring. I don't have a physician with me. Some of those herbs would be nice to have. If you ever, however you access them, maybe I could get them as well. That's one thing, I throw out there.
That's an interesting point. Like to consider for a sense of duty um, from an NPC or a PC for that matter, right? Like if it's breaking the rules, do they break the rules even though they like you?
Yeah,
You
like
know,
honor.
that's
Yeah,
interesting. He tells you it's strictly not allowed, although like he can't sell you anything, um, and he can't give you anything just to have. Um, but how is the town? The town is better than you might expect for herbs. Um, and he gives you directions to the nearest healer and herb trader, and it is directions that are, God bless them, fairly simple.
Ah,
Because we all know this
writing that
town.
down. Better give me a bonus when I'm doing that navigation.
Absolutely. So it's basically like the second street you come to coming down from the keep, and so it's really easy to follow
Yeah.
um,
Definitely gonna
before the
visit
town just
all of them,
gets
yeah.
really complicated, and all these little bridges over the various creeks that run through the town. Um, so he says, the prices there are not great, but the selection is considerable.
Okay.
Um, um,
I'll have to pay that a visit. I'm definitely running low on stuff.
um,
Doctor recommended. Um,
he is a widower, and um, his he's sort of really the last of his family,
hmm.
uh, and his family was actually taken by the pox, by the goblin pox, um, also called the elven pox.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, oh, interesting. It affected both
yes.
goblins and elves. I guess I probably knew that, but I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't.
I mean, your character would have known that, and most elves believe that the goblins brought it with them
Oh,
um,
right.
when they began their invasion. They sort of appeared, I don't know, a few months before. You sort of see these individuals of this race you never knew, and then an army appeared, um, and that's sort of the general tale. Um, so let me see. This is Adabir's Goblin Physician. Um, hmm. His name is Tegrand, Tegrand. Um, um, Rather old, um, fairly tall, not pleasant to look at, even for a goblin. um,
Yeah.
um, he's got a mid chest beard, um, all gray, of course. Um, uh, every time you've seen him, he's generally unkempt. Um, so,
I will also just curious about
attack
his.
him.
Yeah. Curious about his you call it I guess his profession. Like, it's amazing how you could tell the type of the wound just by kind of feeling it a bit. Is I'll tell him that's honestly it'd be very useful skill to have while adventuring. I don't know how much um,
Roll for me.
learned from a physician. 86.
Um, he says, you shouldn't be out exploring such dangerous areas by yourself without some skills like this.
All right.
Um, if we have time, um, I wouldn't mind teaching you.
That would be excellent.
Um, wow, he's really interesting. Um,
And, I would appreciate that.
um, he urges you, of course, to for given how dangerous your profession is, to stay close to your God, to um, to pray regularly whenever you get wounded. Um, he's clearly, someone of deep faith.
Right.
So, um, so I should write.
Man of deep faith. It's interesting
Uh,
for yeah, a doctor, someone who's like very scientific, but also very
well, we're not yet to the age of science.
well, no, right, but so very. I know. I guess you're right. Yeah, his profession is not understanding how the body functions, more of like diagnosing just
Right.
problems. Yeah.
Um, I
Well, I
was
don't know. With magic, you could always create some magic system. Depending on your world, it could be like a medieval civilization that knows the human anatomy like down to the last cell. That would be really interesting. Like
right.
weird, yeah.
You know,
Patients would have for a society.
I don't know if you know much about the Pew Research Center, but
Oh,
they
really?
do a lot of poll-based research, and they are fascinating. You can find
Right.
some fascinating stuff on there. So, once I was looking at the occurrence of atheism in scientists of the world,
Hmm.
and it is a much higher percentage. American population for atheism is something like, I don't know, 3 to 5% are
Yeah.
atheists, and for American scientists, it's something like, I don't know, 20%, something like that.
Right.
And I was looking at a worldwide, and generally that pattern held, except for oh dang it, what is it called? I can't remember if it's one of the Asian island major manufacturing countries, like Hong Kong or Singapore, one of those big
Yeah.
islands that high population. And there, the scientists are more religious than the
Interesting.
average population. I just thought that was so interesting.
Weird outlier. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so you guys, I mean, you really kind of built if not yet an ally, at least someone that you've really got a connection to.
Right.
Um, um, Daggum it.
Yeah. And yeah, I just tell them that would be great. Whenever you're free, whenever I'm back here, we can do something.
Oh, Quinn. uh,
Pew pew. Isn't it? It's like PUGH. Is that right? Pew Research.
Phew. Also, they study relief.
No, I
Um,
thought that's what I thought it was the PUGH. No, is it PEW?
it is Pew. It is PEW. Yeah, they
Okay,
have all kind of cool
what I was
stuff.
thinking.
This other, and I wish I had bookmarked it when I found it. Maybe I have, and I just don't remember where it is. But there's this annual poll of Muslim youth that not the Pew doesn't do it. The separate organization does it,
Sure.
and that is fascinating. That is fascinating to read the questions they ask them
Yeah.
and the responses they get. Like, it's surprising the degree to which young Muslims in the Arab world, um, it's like 3/4 of them support women's rights.
Yeah. 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 It
And I
varies.
just didn't expect it to be quite that high. I mean, obviously, generational changes. I knew it would be higher than the previous generation. I didn't really expect it to be over 50%, but it was
That's just the thing
74.
about like extremism from what I've heard in a lot of religions and cultures. Kind of it
Right.
kind of skews your view of the whole because those are the people you're seeing in the news every day and hearing.
Squeaky, violent wheels get the grease.
Exactly.
and get greased, honestly. But so anyway, um, so he tells you your arm will be fine. He's got other duties to perform. Um, um, but as always, with all of your contacts, be thinking about questions to ask him.
Yeah.
And he goes off. Um, if you're going to, they're going to expect you to be in this room um, for the whatever envoy the potion master sends.
Right.
But so if you're going to be gone briefly. If
Right.
there's anything you want to
Keep
do.
them waiting.
Hey,
No,
Pooch Tucker.
I don't think so. They said someone will be here soon, so I should.
Right. Just sort of taking the day and enjoy it and nap, do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So yeah, not too much longer. Um, not local. Interesting. So weird. Yeah, I don't know about that. A very large robed figure enters the room after a gentle tapping at the door. Um, um, it's a veiled face on this. I mean, just a really big, broad individual. Um, the veil itself is stained and is pocked with burns, as is the apron that it wears. This sort of heavy leather apron. So it's this person is working very deeply in potions.
Yeah.
Really, roll for me.
51.
Looks like he or she has probably got some sort of chronic injury in the leg. The gait is very strange. But I mean, this person has to be, I don't know, close to 7 feet high and is just a hulk of a person.
Is this the butcher shop, or is it?
The voice is very strange and very strained. Maybe from pain from this chronic injury. Who knows? Of course, my voice isn't that way. But and sort of sits heavily on a chair. I mean, it's bundled up so much in robes. It's hard to tell a gender. When it speaks, male, definitely male. Gloves are, I'm sorry, hands are covered in very heavy gloves. And it says, I've been sent to inquire about possible unusual ingredients you may have.
Yes. I assume you're one of the Ocean Master's assistants or apprentices. How should I address you?
I am Ferl of the Red Valley. Ferl. Not a location you've heard of.
No.
I'm saying even in your childhood or in passing.
Oh, sure, yeah. That was just weird. Is that normal to do, to declare where you're from? I guess it is, right?
I mean, sometimes. Sometimes, like if you're particularly proud of it, if it becomes a part of your identity, you know what I mean? Then yes.
Yeah, okay. Um,
Nancy Reagan is still alive, huh, Quinn? And she made a PSA about the recent COVID nonsense. Is that to say, Quinn, that she was. Wait. Is she in support of the nonsense, or is she saying, hey, get your vaccine and quit pretending like doctors aren't doctors? Oh, Lord. Why am I thinking? Just say nay to. I don't know what that is.
Nay. I love it.
Ivermectin? I don't know what that is.
Ivermectin was a medication that one of the supposed treatments for COVID. It's also used to treat, I think, horses and cattle and swine
Oh,
for
I see.
diseases as well. Yeah, like all the other untrustworthy sources.
That's
Instead of a vaccine, take these dangerous medicines that are probably more harmful for your health.
right.
Anyway, I'll take a swig of that ivermectin.
That's right. That's one of the herbs recommended to heal your arm.
Ivermectin, yeah. What a fantasy ask me. So he just says Pearl the Red Valley.
Pearl of the Red Valley.
Well, nice to meet you. Yes, and I'll procure the spike from this creature and explain creature I came across in the mountain kind of foothills. Was recommended it might to send to you, might be able to identify it or see if it's useful in any potion.
He examines it, has to hold it very close to his veil, and roll for me.
It's 37.
Must be must also have a burned face. Why else would you not take the veil off?
Right, I was going to say it's something
Yeah.
that hide his face.
And he nods. He says, "This is useful. This is, I would say, probably from the mid-back area of Strethros. That is the animal you have encountered. You can now erase those brackets. Isn't that great?"
Ooh.
It says they can be useful in potions. We do have a need for them. Should you come across them again, let me tell you that the ones near the neck and shoulders are preferable. He puts a big gloved hand in a pouch and pulls out a silver.
I will say, do you know anything else about the creatures?
You're going to leave it hanging in the air?
Well, yeah, I'll say instead of your money, if you could tell me anything else about the creatures, that would be useful. I have an interest in creatures like that. And
he shrugs and puts the coin back. He says that they tend to attack the wounded. It's unclear whether they are otherworldly or whether they are some natural magical mutation. But one of the two is almost certain. Spells that register magic do show that they are faintly magical, and spells that register portals also show them slightly, detect them very slightly.
Interesting.
Some powerful individuals have even gone to the efforts of training them, so they are intelligent and tameable, but obviously must be kept well fed. You will hear rumors that they can project these spikes. That is false. For your safety, you should know that while they are decent climbers on slopes and so forth, you are relatively safe in trees. They simply have not worked out how to climb a tree.
Yeah.
Western European knights would usually say what house they're from. Yes, but as we're not in Western Europe, pooch hugger, it sort of varies from culture to culture.
There's a great meme from a video game, Sekiro. Is samurai would typically shout their name across the battlefield, to make themselves heard, like "I am here," it's me. So this guy like literally comes charging at you from a horse out of dead silence, just yelling his name, and like feels just like the reactions, like "Oh my god," you're sitting there and just yelled. It must have been very intimidating on the.
I'm trying to think the game. I know it's a whole. You'll know the game, and I know Quinn will know the game too, but I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's got a title that doesn't really fit the content. Is it far away? I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, it's one of these kind of I don't know. It's a first person shooter essentially with some stuff. And my nephew was showing it to me. This is a couple of versions ago, and he was showing it to me, and he was talking about the sharks in the water. And so he tries to swim from one island to the next, and man, that shark attack is terrifying. Jesus Christ, I just pee myself. I'm like, you can't do that again to me, man. That's just too much. It's so ferocious.
Sometimes like the scariest things in games are just unexpected.
Yeah. Man.
Shark attack. Okay, well, thank you for that info. Far Cry. Quinn says, yeah, I've heard of.
That's it. Far Cry. That's it. I knew there was a Y at the end of that second word. Yeah. And I forget which version it was that he was playing, but man, that shark attack, I wet myself. So he rises. Roll for me.
44.
Strange noises coming. He must wear some odd clothes of odd textures. These things are ruffling against each other. I mean, it's weird, rustling, I should say.
Yeah.
So,
I will just before he goes, and if I'm venture always in need of potions. If you ever have some in stock that I could purchase, I'd be very grateful. I have good money I can pay.
Anyone in this household is welcome to our potion stock at reasonable prices. We have been instructed. You're welcome to come to our inventory room with an escort anytime before dark. After that, it closes.
Okay. An escort, I could just ask one of the guards, or I could maybe one of the maids. I'm a little confused what it means by escort. What type of escort?
You don't want to be found in the inventory room alone. So what you could do is just find the inventory room, stand outside the door, and just call in.
Okay, that's what it means. Okay,
yeah. Don't be there unattended.
Be supervised. Okay.
And so you could just go there and call out until someone answers.
I thought, like I'll just show up there with a hooker, and he's like,
right.
You have to have an escort.
That's all we just degenerate Karandrin into nothing but encounters with hookers. I'm like, what? They're role playing. He's wearing
it. 18-13.
That's right.
All right, I'm getting a lot of stuff on my to-do list here. So maybe tomorrow I'll go into town and check out the herb shop, check out the potions.
Yeah. So maybe we do that, some of that off stream. So
that's what it's all shopping.
Yeah, shopping didn't kill our streaming audience. It's one of my dreams is to have I've got a potion database, but what I want to do is have the actual recipe for it, and then one for all the potion ingredients in there, right? And they'll talk to each other, and like a given ingredient will tell you every potion it's used in. I think that would be so awesome. I can't wait to do that in 50 years.
For me, taking chemistry in college kind of ruined that because of when you learn all the electrons, interactions and stuff, it's just so complex and so annoying, and it's like, ugh, it's just to like make it realistic, from a world that
Right. It's so yeah. I mean, it really just become very mechanical at
yeah,
that point.
kind of nagging. Yeah,
Yeah. I loved organic chemistry. I loved not so much. I mean, doing some of the formulas and stuff was fun, but man, just the complexity of that was just mind-boggling. Um,
yeah, yeah. All right. So he gets up to go. I should be everything then.
I need to make sure I've got him down because he's going to be an interesting character to come across again.
Yeah, sure. So how it's probably what in mid afternoon. Do you think? Plenty of time left in the day.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you got there in the morning, right?
Right. Kind of
So
first thing.
it's probably. I mean, it's probably just noon now.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, if it's not uncouth, I would. Now my arms just feeling much better. I will definitely just try to go back to the camp and
yeah,
give me a
sure.
little time to explore that manor, and then come back here tomorrow and probably spend the day
Right.
seeing if Aldrich shows up. But yeah, however we want to do that, I'd probably let one of the maids know it's like, I'm feeling much better. I'm just gonna go to my room, and then
Right.
I have to leave, right, to teleport. I shouldn't teleport from my room, right? Or is it? I forgot. Is it okay leaving?
No, no, because
Yeah,
that would allow theft, right? That would allow you to walk
exactly.
in.
Yeah. So I'll yeah, I guess just make for the go to my room, gather the stuff I need, and make for the exit. If no one stops me.
Right. Oh, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna take the vial with you, right? The vial of
I will, yeah. So
yeah.
I dumped a bunch of stuff.
The close
I
that.
also gotta sell some of this crap I have too. I guess it doesn't matter, but you're gonna have so much stuff that I can't like carry it all in one go, even with the bag of holdings.
I should look at you. I forget that I have access to see your equipment and stuff, and I should, because you've talked about like it's hard to keep track of your magic items, and I should look and see how you've organized it, and see how insane you've been.
I'm pretty sane, and it's pretty difficult. Oh my gosh.
Well,
The hardest thing is like I have armors and weapons, right? But it's like I have a magic armor. So I'm like, is it in the magic item section? Is the armor section? So I have like weapons and shields, magical
oh,
or not. It's in the weapons
I
and shields.
I wouldn't worry if it's just a bonus. I wouldn't worry about it. It's really if it's got something that you can activate and use.
Right, and that's what I created the next section for magical, and even that is like really long because they have big descriptions and stuff, right? Like the bag of holding, the silver necklace, all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Okay. Well, but yeah, I'll gather my stuff, and we'll head back out to the keep. Make sure Laula's close to me, right on my shoulder.
Right. Um, so yeah, you just head out and um, go to your spot
Mm-hmm.
and teleport.
Yeah. Use my channeling helm here. My channeling helm. Channeling musketeer hat. Ooh, 31. Not my best work, but it'll do in a pinch.
That's right. 12 exhaustion, unfortunately, due to not a great casting. You lost some from your previous casting, right?
Yes. Actually, yeah, I spent 15 on the previous cache.
Right. So you've recovered 7 of those
Oh, excellent.
because you've spent time resting. So um, part of me was Pooch Hugger. What do you mean by that? Part of me was screaming that he'd use the running come for some crazy shit.
That he'd use the running come for some crazy shit.
I don't know.
Very cryptic.
Try some punctuation there, Pooch Hugger. I'm really
Sure, you have an interesting way with words. That's what I was curious to
That's
see.
right.
Kind of like when you put something through a translator and then it's not like some of the
Right,
Greek
yeah.
not there. You still get the meaning of it, but
Oh, I should post our.
oh yeah, post
Oh,
it
the
up.
runner's vine.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Mine for
Good
some-
memory there, Pooch Hugger.
Yeah.
Here's notes and stuff again for people in the stream, and of course you can find this in the notes in below the YouTube video, in the description, I guess it is. So yeah, so now roll to aim.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. 22. So I guess probably say I'm going to that campsite, right? How
I
will I
assume, but you're right. I should have asked. Um, so that gummit, so irritating. Nothing about my genius writing. Um, no, nothing about that, Quinn. Nothing. You're terrible.
Genius in chat comments do not go hand in hand.
That's right.
Genius writing.
You appear in the at the base of the slope. Uh, Talents are wasted. You're a Philistine, and you're a Philistine, and roll for me.
64.
You're pretty confident that you're just 100 yards away or so from your you're on the right level of the mountain, on the correct slope of the mountain. You're probably just right above the ledge that you were on, and so you just march off. You find it, no problem. The horse is unmolested.
Good.
Move it to fresh grazing, and give it some comfort and so on. And
Who's a good boy?
um, so yeah, the camp seems normal. Nothing interfering with it. Coral, go find your mother, you little Delta variant. I don't know what the coral part is there. What is that?
I don't
Corona?
know. The chat is disintegrating into nonsense. I can't make heads or tails of it.
Right.
Just like role playing.
Just like this role playing, anyway. So yeah, everything seems fine. You take her to a source of water, make sure she drinks her fill, brush her down some. Um, Probably. I mean, we could. Do you want to say you ate at the castle? We just sort of make that happen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So very early afternoon, um, um, just past high noon, and you're back on the old mountain, um, and at your camp. So
Well, first, we're going to take out this little vial here and find a good place to deposit it. It'll be safe from weather and wear, and hidden from view. Good spots, maybe
I mean, sure. There's trees here and there. You could just
put in between the roots. Yeah.
yeah, and just cover it with grass and a stone or two you set upon it. For that matter, you could just chunk it off the side, for God's sake, and just be done with it.
Yeah. We'll just hit it somewhere at the campsite. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Pooch Hugger, this is our 20th episode, and so that's a party hat on Brise and sort of a celebratory
Musketeer's hat.
Musketeer's hat. And I was supposed to get cool stuff for me, and I just had a terrible headache, and then Karen is taking a ketamine treatment, so
The pressure got to him. 20th episode, he couldn't take it.
That's right. The pressure. So, but yeah, uh, Karen's still got a broke foot, so she's hobbling around. And I got to run and fetch and carry for her. So, although it is getting better. So, um, she is not on stream tonight with us. She is watching the famous play Like a Raisin in the Sun, the
Oh yeah.
Pulitzer or Nobel winning play, um, based on the Langston Hughes poem, Harlem, or the title comes from there. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? As a reference to black hopes and dreams always having to be denied. Um, so, what now, good sir? Is it time to go and explore the old manor?
That it is.
Um, so the so you send Laula to do a little scouty scout. Do you want her to go ahead, or do you want her to do a circle around the camp first?
I'll just go ahead. What is this mountain range called again? Goblin Mountains, or
Yeah, I don't really have a name for it, which is really weird. I mean, I had a name when I first did it, but I was a teenager and the name was stupid, so I don't use it anymore. Um,
mountains?
the mountains of death and destruction. Not really. Um, but yeah, I would just say the mountains of Nargos.
Yeah,
Mountains.
just the Goblin Mountains.
Yeah. So, and I hate this stupid. Okay. Luigi Mansion vibes. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Hello.
That was always such a close ghost and Mario. That was such a clever idea of theirs.
Speaking of video games that make you scared, that was the second game I ever played, and it just terrified me. Like
Oh wow.
being in the dark. I still had this fear of like my character dies, he's dead forever. So like every time I got hurt, I just like freaked out.
Oh wow.
Like probably a month or two to actually acquiesce and like start playing it confidently.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you about my dad playing role playing, and Pooch Hugger, you'll be interested in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Totally the story.
Yeah, where he would play role playing with us when we were kids, and we were game master, and he would play, and he just could not put his character in danger. He couldn't do it. He was so attached to the character, even though he'd only been playing it for like 2 or 3 days. He was so attached to it, he couldn't put it. So he had to stop playing with us. He really enjoyed it, but he couldn't make himself pull the trigger on that.
It's a double-edged thing because like he cares about his characters so much, so he'd probably be a really good role player, but
Right,
too much that he paralyzes him.
right. Quinn, you should look up. I want you to look up the Mountains of Kong. I learned about them on QI. It's really funny. It's historically, it's a historical thing, but it's just so ridiculous, and it just shows you. I don't know. In some ways, the how far we've come when it comes to the use of knowledge. But look up the Mountains of Kong. I'm thinking it's close to a break time. Shall we get you to the mansion and then take a break and then?
Yeah, we probably should because you never know what nonsense is going to happen.
Exactly.
100 goblins just point spears at me.
You're just walking. Let's do state of readiness, and you've got marked what you've taken with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. So I have my all my weapons on me.
Right.
Bag of muffling, which has my flail.
Okay.
But yeah, I will have my spear out, spear and shield.
Okay.
How's my arm feeling? Like
It's a little
bit rough.
it's a little stiff, but it doesn't hurt. You can't really even see a mark there. Swelling is gone.
That was like one day ago. That was really, really good healing, man.
Well, a lot of this, that's a sort of the thing about these herbs is the only way you guys don't just have realistic, sort of weights and so on.
Right, right. It's magical healing.
Yay for everything, zones out. I don't know what that means. But um, so Laula reaches it first. Of course, you concentrate to get sort of a detailed um, thing. So it's a large manor that has it's long and rectangular. It has a center courtyard to it that is now just overgrown with trees and so forth and so on. But I mean, it's a very large mansion. It would fit. It would barely fit on a football field.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So it's a really big house. There are three two-story homes. I should say the mansion itself is 3 stories.
Okay.
Most of the roof on the third story has caved in. Maybe the corners will have some access, but you can tell that's going to be a lot of hands and knees kind of work.
Yeah.
Um, um, uh, so um, the there are so as you approach, as from the direction you're approaching, um, there seem to be outbuildings that seems to be probably what would be behind, the home, right? You're guessing this. I have to be approaching from the back, given
Sure.
these houses,
Yeah.
these outbuildings, because there's 3 smaller outbuildings and there's 2 larger ones. One you're guessing is a stable. It's long and narrow, and it's just got bushes growing out of it. There's no appearance of windows so much as stable doors that can be opened to allow fresh air in, and you now got plants growing out of those fully. So like those half doors for stalls,
Yeah.
right, that allow tending to the animal and interaction with the animal. Um, so there are 3 buildings sort of beside them. So you're going to be approaching what appears to be the stables first. She's flying over and around those. There are 3 smaller buildings then that go in a row away from you. The stables run sort of this way across. You're coming to the back of the stables.
Right.
Beyond the stables is some other larger service building, and then further beyond and off to the side is the main manor. Beyond that, then, is an arc of 3 fully elegant homes. They are 2 story, probably guest homes. Um, and a few hundred feet beyond that, um, beyond those homes, is one edge of the slope with a view of the valley. As she circles back around to the side of the main manor, and the main manor sort of is this long rectangle pointing away from you. Um, um, the other edge, then, so the edge sort of arcs, right?
Yeah.
These 3 homes are here, taking advantage of this view. The larger home is here, taking advantage of this view.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and um, and that's really sort of the edge of her range. You can feel, it's uncomfortable to have her quite that far
Yeah.
away. Um,
The listing price for this place again. Seems like a
if you
fixer upper.
back on page 8 of your notes,
It
you
says
should.
here. It says here 20 copper pieces.
That's it.
Down.
That's it.
As we always make that joke about like abandoned homes being like for sale and
All right.
just touring them, just checking it out. I want to get a feel for the place. See if
Go
the
to
pictures
Detroit.
match.
Right.
Clearly not.
Um, so
One other thing I know, yesterday, Laula managed to spot some of those posts, those pillars.
yes,
Are those at the front of the manor?
there are pillars at the back, sort of toward the slope away from the stables. And then there are some in the not exactly the front, but that the slope side of the mansion, of the main manor. There are some. Um,
Okay.
so it's lightly wooded here, thicker than what you found on the battlefield. Um, Lala does spot uh, some sign of movement among the trees between the main manor and the arc of three guest houses.
Okay.
The grasses there are about hip high to you. Um,
I'll
it
have her
is-
perch and watch if anything happens there.
the grass is just too thick. Whatever it is hiding in the grass. Roll for me. Let's see if you recognize it.
56.
Your feeling is it is serpent-like and large. So that does bring up the possibility, of a hammerworm. That's at least one of the more unusual and dangerous species.
Okay. And that you said, sorry, it was between past the big manor.
Right, that's in between the arc of three buildings.
Okay.
I tried to have this drawn for you in Affinity, but my head, I just could not get it done.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, for the viewers, I could maybe during the break, I'll maybe sketch it quickly and see how accurate.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah, either one.
Shall we test? So let's. So you are now within sight of the stables. We'll say you're sort of just working your way through. Roll for me.
75.
You're finding evidence of cobblestones. So they probably have either riding paths or walking paths back here.
Okay.
And you sort of stop in the trees within sight of the stables.
So really quick, maybe a miracle roll before the break.
Ooh,
Try
guys!
this miracle that this is a site associated with the 9 stars.
Oh, okay.
So for everyone that I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I am part of a faith that believes. I think it said magic is like a right that everyone has, but it needs to be unlocked.
Well, and it's being oppressed by organized religion.
Right. Organized religion is against.
Right. So you are sort of part of a. I hate to use the word quest in fantasy adventuring. I hate it. I think it's overused. But it's certainly one of the goals. It is the primary goal of your cult is to find a way to access everyone's full magical ability, despite this years of conditioning that we can't use. That only the trained can use magic, and that the ability to do so was learned by one of your great teachers, and we're trying to find that great learning.
Right.
And so that is the cult of the 9 stars.
Right. In one of the legends surrounding these cult, like finding that is there are 9 or 7 locations that are affiliated with her. So I guess miracle roll would be like this is one of those locations. But
sure. So all right, drum roll, people. Send us some drum roll emojis, and we're going to get this miracle roll, and then we're going to take a break. So
20 streams. Is it finally going to happen? I don't roll a miracle roll every stream, but
That's true. You got on our 100th episode. That'd be great if you just rolled 100. That'd be so
Oh my
great.
gosh, that'd be
That'll
amazing.
be a few weeks away right there. Man, come on, guys. We need some drum emojis. Give us a drum roll.
No,
And
I'll send one to myself.
that's right. Uh, it's funny. I don't know how I would do it. How do I do it within Restream? Because that's how I chat with you guys. I don't know how to do it in Restream.
Do you know you can use? I forgot Mac or Windows.
I have Mac.
Oh yeah, Windows. There you can do Windows. What is it like? Windows dot. Yeah, and it opens up the emoji menu. So you just type
I'll see what
emojis
that
wherever.
does. I'm gonna do. I'm so my our Windows would be Command
Right. I don't think Command dot.
Option dot. Nope, that's less than or equal to
Control Alt Delete.
Control Alt Delete. That did not
Power
work.
button.
Power button. Let me try formatting the hard drive.
That's right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Try
Well,
throwing it out the window. Well,
you're on your own. To hell with all of you. Let's.
12.
Oh, sorry. There is no evidence that that is the case. And so, had you roll it, I would have given you direct evidence that,
Right. Exactly.
you know. So, all right. So, we're going to take a quick break, gang. So, go fetch yourselves some water and so on. We're certainly going to do the same. Thanks for hanging out. That's right.
Drive me nuts.
Is it killing you? Is it hot?
I mean, it's just my head's getting really sweaty.
That's really funny.
It's not well.
Ventilated.
No.
Um, well, hopefully, when we come back, you'll be wearing the banner you got in the back. That's what I'm hoping.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us, guys. We'll be right back after this. Go get you something to drink, and we'll certainly do the same. We'll see you in just a minute.
Stay cool.
Boogity boo. We're all back
Woo.
and ready to go.
There we go. I was gonna say I can try to do some sketching. The problem is it's gonna mess up the screen.
No. I have found a way to do it. I
Okay.
just had to use. It's very crude. I don't know what is going on with my Affinity Designer. I've had this problem
Ah!
earlier,
That's what I didn't want to happen.
but yeah, like I'll just draw a rectangle, right, the shape I want,
hmm
and it'll show up on the layer and everything, but it's invisible on the actual drawing surface. And
Weird. Yeah, it was
I don't like.
some layer turned off or something. So do you have it drawn or no?
Yes, in a very primitive way. Let me
Okay.
see. Let me see. Is this share screen? Share screen. Select window. Oh yeah, you're gonna love this. That's gonna be it.
Oh, here's mine. If you
Oh,
said
nice.
that.
Window or screen. Allow. Wait, why is it taking me there? Oh look,
What are we playing? Tetris? What's going on here?
isn't that great? Isn't that terrible?
That is a lot. I was visualizing it differently, so I'm glad you showed me that.
So you're coming from the bottom of the page.
Right. I knew that much, yeah. But I thought the three houses, the three smaller buildings, were between the manor and the stable. So
Ah, no.
now I know they're to the left.
Right. So
Where
that's
the
the basic. Oh, you want? I left off a building. I'm gonna have to go and add that building because
oh yeah, there's one more
the
larger.
larger outbuilding is beside those three smaller ones. Um, and those, those are not exactly to scale or anything. That's, um, but yeah, let me go in here and this is using draw in Word for God's sake because of
This is what we've come to.
this is what we've come to. So there you go. Um, so do you want to play with this up?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, let's do
okay.
it. You can. I don't know how you want to do it. Like, it doesn't need to be that big, right? We just need the image off to the side. Is there
Yeah,
maybe a 4x4 view you could do?
there. Let's see if this will do it. Let's see.
Okay, that's not
What do
bad.
you think about that?
Yeah, just now we can see our faces a little more clearly.
Right.
You can see if you're lying or not.
I think I know I'm lying. Let me see if I can change the view here. Let's print way out.
You're telling me that none of Karandrin is real?
What? Wow.
Where'd it go?
That is really weird. That is the I'm a web layout. Is that any better? Let's see. I don't know.
That's good enough. I mean, it's a crude drawing anyway, so it doesn't need to be
Hey,
zoomed in.
motherfucker.
Crude. It's a compliment.
That's
It's like when you call someone homely. It's like, is that good or bad? It has
right.
home in the name, but it means like ugly.
Right. Man, I got to figure out this affinity thing. It's driving me crazy. So
anyway, so I'm approaching from the back here. I mean, these buildings are pretty tiny, so I'll. Oh, where are the pillars?
Oh yes.
And two were away from the stables.
It's hard to. Yeah, I mean it's hard. You know that some are.
Seen them.
Some are to the right of the stables. The others are to the right of the mansion.
Yeah.
But their exact location, like you would have to have her go back and actually find them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'll do that. I'll go to the right of the stables first and seek those out.
So she flitters.
Yeah.
Say again.
Obelisk. That was the word we used. I was trying to remember.
Yes, obelisk. Yes. So she yeah, flitters on back, and yeah, you thought they were absolutely like tree trunks and so on that had just rotted and the vines were growing all over them. But yeah, they're definitely obelisks. So the one that she found before in the back is even with the stables. Maybe I should do like a. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I could hide that. That would be helpful. There we are.
Death trap here.
Are
Why
you
does that
kidding
map
me?
say death trap?
I can't draw in this.
Oh, when it's like zoomed in like that.
You got to be fucking.
Hmm.
Why would you have a view in which, for some reason, I can't draw?
Remember, Kevin, it's Microsoft Word, so you're
Oh, no.
expecting a useful feature. That's your first mistake.
That is my first mistake. Here we go. So there is one right there. And she just, perches up there and is merry and chirping around. And oh, Lord. Almost lost my dice. Okay.
I'm playing dead. I don't want to distract from the game too much, but I recently played a board game called I can't remember the name of it. It's Birds. Wingspan is the name of the
Okay.
game. It's a great game. There's a card for like every type of bird imaginable. It's a deck of like 120 cards.
Wow.
It's like shuffle a deck. It's like this tall. And each bird has like different powers and different abilities. It's pretty fun.
That's fun.
While I'm like, she's a Western song thrush or a European titmouse.
Right.
Really
That's
specific.
really funny. Yeah, good old titmouse. That's just so. I
Titmouse,
learned on
boobies and red-breasted robins. And
I learned on QI that in the whatever it is it six calling birds? Is that right? In the 12 Days of Christmas song, 12 Nights of Christmas, whatever it is.
Oh,
5 golden rings, 6 calling birds, right?
Like that, yeah.
Right. So it's not calling birds. It's collier's birds.
Oh.
Okay. And a collier is, that just means black.
Yeah.
They're blackbirds.
Colliers. Okay. 6
So, yeah. And it just got changed about 100 years later.
Yeah.
To calling birds, but that's not really what it is.
Completely changed the whole meaning of the song. Christmas is ruined.
Right.
That's really funny. Just such a small change too. Okay, well, yeah. So I'll approach this obelisk then, and let's do a survey of it. See how it kind of resembles the other ones.
It does not resemble the other ones in that this thing is vine choked.
Oh man,
you are gonna have to do some major clearing.
I have a spell that makes plants grow, but I don't know if that makes them die.
Where is the earth
gotta take my hands to it and try to yank them off. Right? It's not too high, is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's about I don't know, 20 feet high.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I thought these were 6 feet high.
It's I mean,
it really is an obelisk. Okay, well, I'll just start, I guess, from my head. Just as high as I can reach. Start tearing them down. Yeah, I don't have any spells that would help me out here.
Well, I mean, you could, try to burn it off, of course.
Yeah, would that actually work, or would that just take longer? You know what I mean?
Well, it would definitely work while taking longer, but it could work all the way up the plant.
Right.
All the way up the obelisk.
I build a fire and wait a little while, then.
But your guess is like last time you used your glasses, right? You use your glasses sophistication to read inscriptions that were on there.
Yeah.
And as you're, cutting with your dagger, and tearing stuff free and wiping it down, it's very much. It seems like it's going to be very much the same. It is showing. Wow, way to go, Quinn! I'm glad you knocked that problem out. Nothing like a donkey choking load of anything, really. Could be coke, cocaine specifically.
I like the sound of that.
So like you sort of do one, about 6 foot high sort of thing all the way around and slip on the old glasses of sophistication, which allow him to read any language. They work like this.
Exactly.
And and so you go through, and it is like the others. it is a history of family. It is a family history, and particularly it shows relations with other families.
Right.
Um, so here, um, is some sort of long-tailed bird. Um, you know,
Spoonbill. Sorry.
spoon build. I mean, you don't. You feel like I feel like I've seen birds like this, but it's in
Hmm.
stone, so I can't really tell. Why do my messages not scroll down? Oh man. Um, oh, that's hilarious, Quinn. Uh, I'm like a donkey that loves cocaine. So, um, putting on your glasses. Um, it's it's triumph and a date. Um, the This bird is the House of Durdan, Dirdan. Um, and there's symbology and then some word and some the House of Durdan and then symbology. It
Right.
seems positive. There is a male figure and he's looking up at a star. Um, and it does say in the inscription below minister. And then as you go around, um, again, the symbol for the House of Durdan and another positive note. It shows a man and a woman. Um, the man kneels in front of the woman. The woman is in finery, so maybe a wedding. Um, the man um, has a symbol beneath him. The symbol is a tree. It's very small. I mean, it's got to be an inch high. Whereas the bird symbology for the House of Durdan is always 6 to 9 inches. I mean, it's um, long-tailed bird, lizard, spider thingy. Well, and now, Jack, you have to look up video of the spider-tailed Iraqi viper, and
That's what he was referencing, man.
it'll blow you away. It'll just blow you away. This thing has a tail that has a fake spider on it, and it dances the tail around, and birds come in to attack it, and that snake comes out of nowhere and eats those birds midair. It is unbelievable. So keep going around. This one is harder to decipher. Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's positive or negative. It shows three actual homes and symbols. And the House of Durdan is there, and that's one entire trip around.
Hmm.
Um, and there's more that we can go through if you wish.
Well, I think it would be useful to know if there's any reference to some of the other names I saw on the other obelisks.
All right, do you have find that list for me?
Right.
Yeah, you better. Obelisk.
We were just talking about. It's like, what's a quick way to no, they're in my handwritten notes from like 2 years ago. It was so long ago.
No, that's fine.
Well, maybe I'll leave a note saying, whatever I find here.
I'm not sure what it would tell you, even if there were references.
Well, I could just put together more of a story.
Yeah,
And, just the interest if there's chronology here, right? I can't tell if it's all separate names.
right. Um,
But okay, yeah, no, then we
But
can
what we can do, I mean, so
maybe
um,
when info becomes relevant, we can
what
come.
I'll do is, so what we'll do is, because it's going to be probably not crazy likely. So in your 6 and now say 8 foot, tearing down of stuff,
Yeah.
let's see where we find it. So about 3/4 of the way up. So about at eye level as you're tearing stuff down and just going through reading um, this, and then they have numerical dates, and you can tell that it starts at the bottom, and you are supposed to wrap around, climb to the next tier, wrap around, climb to the
Mm.
next tier. So, um, and whatever means they're keeping is it just a yeah. Events seem to have a single number by them. Um, so it looks like about um, 40 years after your earliest date, you're now at this point
Okay.
about a third of the way up the thing. You do see a name that is one of the three you saw. We'll determine which one of those is. Um, it is apparent. It reads as positive. Um, it seems to be something like an agreement between them, that sort of thing. Um, it is, two bird symbols, and both the bird and the name seem familiar to you. And um, and it is two clasping hands is the symbology. That is the extent of the something ringing true to you.
Sure. Okay.
Um, and I'll just roll one more time for like anything dramatic that really is a shocking symbology, and nothing on this obelisk.
Okay. Well, excellent. Yeah, and we'll out of game. We'll just look that up. I'll go through my paper notes and we'll figure that out. House X. Okay. Well, cool. If that's all for the obelisk, then I can move on to some of these other buildings. With the stables, I guess, right here.
As you look through the scattered woods back here, you can easily. It's not going to surprise you that there are other obelisks you're just overlooking,
Yeah, true.
which is fine. We could do the more exploration part now if you want. If we run out of time, then what we'll do is when we play off screen, maybe we just have you leave the whatever room you're exploring and go back, and we can do the obelisks and give a recap to our audience, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's good because the obelisk is very detailed. It's a lot of
Right,
facts and stuff. We could maybe piece together some important information, share with our lovely viewers
right.
next time we stream. So, let's just focus on exploring for now, which is more thrilling.
All right, where to, sir?
Well, let's just wait. Oh, I can't. I was gonna like point to it on the screen, but you can't see it. So starting from like the stable, just follow up, kind of explore these 5 buildings here. They're not
Okay,
super big, right? So I could just kind of pass through them.
right. Yeah, they're not. They're not
Anything
exactly.
intact, anything interesting left behind, anything violent.
Um, what would you like to do with Laula?
I'm gonna keep her perched to watch the thing in the grass to see if it's moving.
Okay, so you
Shove her
send her.
there every couple minutes.
All right, so she sends back over there. Oh, that's hilarious. Funny Quinn, come on now, you got to root for us. Um, so yeah, so she goes and checks. You give her a minute to try to find it. You don't want her. I mean, I assume you don't want her flying low over the grass. I mean, if this is a serpent-like thing, then bam, you know. She cannot find it. Every time she kind of thinks she finds like maybe a place where the grass has been disturbed, some sort of pattern, it just sort of leads nowhere. And so it's just kind of like, well, that's just a natural variation in the grass.
Yeah.
And so you head to the stables. You can see that on this end of the stables, you see as you approach from that obelisk, um, that um, that there is a goblin coat of arms on the end of that stables. So it suggests that these have been taken over at some point by the goblins, by some goblin family.
Yeah. No, I will take some time to draw down the coat of arms on a piece of paper to sketch it, so it's easy
Okay,
to
make yourself a
describe
note there.
to anybody. Yeah.
And like sort of as you sort of sit to prop up against a tree, you're like, this isn't a tree.
Ah,
It's an obelisk.
it's
And
the
so
leg of a 10-foot giant.
again, I got it. Okay, there we go. So you found another one there.
It's my current quest. Find all the obelisks. And
That's right. If you find them all, then it unlocks your ability to fly.
nice. That'll make this game so much easier.
I do you root for you, Quinn says, because Quinn is crazy after that mega
Quinn,
jump.
drunk.
I know.
I do root for you.
Quinn, you know that Karen calls you my other wife, right? You and Josh are my other wives. You're part of Kevin's harem.
I didn't take you for polyamorous. It's very progressive.
I am. I'm very polyamorous. So far as Karen knows, I am not. But whenever she's out of town, I'm immediately.
I've become the switch.
Um,
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
so you do the sketch. Do you care about the other obelisk yet?
No, I mean, we'll like I said, we'll save that for later. We'll just note that down, and I'm like, oh.
I will tell you at a glance, it is a different house.
Oh, does this not have vines growing up it then?
There is, but just kind of going, well, I know this facing at about this height should be one, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's not, you know, um, this is the House of Krimmut. Krimmut. That is so true, Quinn. You and I have been married a long time. Roll for me.
Oh, 10.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
So you approach the stables. There's no window here. There are windows, in the back and the front. That is these sort of the big half doors for them. What do you want to do, back or front? It's a question that Quinn asks me all the time.
The front. I'm on a mission. Get it? No. Okay.
Roll for me.
77.
Very peculiar smell. And there is a slight sound of movement at the far end of the stables.
I will definitely have my shield at the ready and edge it around that I can get a better view of whatever it is, keeping my distance from it.
Well, given the vegetation is growing out of, um,
I wasn't going to be unseen, basically.
I mean, and given that distance, I mean, you're talking about a building that is probably,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's probably 100 feet long, maybe longer. I'm trying to think. Stalls are probably about 8 feet wide. So, yeah, probably a little longer than 100 feet, given the wealth of this estate.
Yeah.
So if it's at the far end and there's all that vegetation, it's just growing, from holes in the roof and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah. Then I'll just have to close the distance, find out what it is before I explore this place. I don't want to be caught in the building.
All right. So
I can
what's the
place
plan?
the smell on the way over there.
Um, are you gonna crouch down below the level of the windows? Are you gonna do a big circle around? The doors seem to be at the very far end.
Was this thing right? This thing was at the other end of the stable.
This
Or was it
noise you
inside the
heard is at the far end of the stable,
Yeah.
inside.
Oh, inside. Okay, I thought it was like rounding the stable.
No, no, no.
Oh yeah, I just have to go in there. It's gonna be hard not to make. Mm,
I mean, I hate to suggest levitate because you're uncomfortable going up that high, but it'd be interesting to just peer through holes in the roof. But also, if it spots you, you're kind of exposed.
I could send Lala to do that. Right?
Yes, I tell you, familiars are crazy useful.
Call her over here and have her. Hey, what's down there?
So you're sending her directly to the far end there.
Mm-hmm. To the roof.
Roll for me. Sticky on my hand.
79.
She flies over. You catch something. You catch a sight of something on the way just before the door.
Mm.
You stop her, send her back, and there is a path of viscous yellow slime that has flattened down the grass, but it's also brushed up against the grass that is still standing. Whatever did it is probably 2 to 3 feet wide. And you sort of have her perch on the eave just to get a good look at it. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, that is disgusting.
Gross. Who doesn't love slime? So it looks like a trail left by something, maybe, or like a deposit?
Yeah. It doesn't seem to go very far. It seems to go about 10 feet and then swing toward the carriage house, in between the carriage house and the stables. And then the grass seems to be normal there.
If Lala flies over to the end of the trail, does she see anything?
You send her over that way? No. Roll for me.
31.
If the direction of the grass is any indication, it last came into the stables, right?
I see. Sorry, the trail end. Yeah, good point.
So it'd be laying down, so you just had to go back and survey and go, okay, they're all pointing in this direction. So unless they're really adhered down with this muck, then, then.
Yeah, then we'll try again to have Lala just come back over and peer through the roof again, see what you can see inside.
Well, you had stopped her before she had got a chance to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll resume.
So you send her over. It's dark inside. There are patches of light. I wish I knew more about a bird's sense of smell. Hey, Quinn, why don't you
They
search?
have a terrible sense of smell, but carrion birds usually have great senses of smell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
know
yeah,
that
typically it's pretty bad.
in Brazil they watch for buzzards
Really?
to indicate breaks in the gas lines, as in like big
Oh, okay, yeah,
supply
rotten
lines.
eggs. That's really clever.
And so they do that. And one of the reasons that there's debate about T Rex actually being a scavenger is because its olfactory structure is so much like turkey buzzards
Yeah,
that they think it had just an extraordinary sense of smell.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we know they at least were partly cannibalistic because, sorry, partly hunters and cannibalistic because we found a male T Rex with an adolescent inside of it, all chewed up.
Oof.
Um,
Not good.
no. So um, she peers down there. Um, Briefly, a pair of large yellow eyes looks up at her and down.
Mm.
Thanks, Quinn. It's good to know. So you can't really make use of a bird's sense of smell because it's just crappy.
Yeah. How about a bird's sense of taste? No,
Go
my
down
sense
there.
of taste is terrible. So bird, Lala like eats something. I'm like, mm, doesn't look
That's
good.
kind of like yours, though, right? Your sense of taste, because your character just doesn't really care about food. You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Doesn't translate. Um. Okay.
The eyes seem set. They seem larger than a human's, but set about where a human's would be. There's a sense, a very much sense of a human-sized head in there. You know,
The height wise. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this thing doesn't know I'm here yet. Can she see the room that it's like in? Is it kind of like blocked off, or um, like can she kind of see where the path might be that it took to get in that
I
room?
mean, there's literally just brush and small trees growing in and then out the windows. You know,
Yeah.
um, it is in sort of a dark clearing in the corner, the back corner of the of the stables. But even in between it and the door, there's foliage. You
Right.
know,
So yeah, I'm debating. I don't know which would be smarter. Maybe help me out here. Do I just try to make myself known and maybe it'll come out? And if it's violent, then we deal with it. But if I try to creep in there, then it might attack out of like surprise. Or I'm
yeah.
thinking option one. Like I just kind of make some noise on the stable, see if it moves it.
Well, you know what I've realized, like as I try to put myself in an actual adventurer's shoes, right, and get away from this kind of robotic style of play that other games almost insist upon. It's like you kind of can't just keep on exploring, right? Because
Of
always
course,
in the back of your mind, right?
at this
So I
stage,
do think I do think you've got to force a confrontation to get a resolution.
exactly.
And so, you know, maybe you stay hidden, the back of the this end of the stables, and you do call out to it or whatever. The thing is, anything else might hear you. So, do you get closer?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I would get closer to where it is and hide myself from where I think it is, and then
Right,
my spear to like tap on the thing. That way, maybe it won't be heard everywhere.
right.
It might just be
I mean, there are trees. I mean, just everywhere around. You know, you can't see a ton of distance. Like you can see basically to the end of what you now can tell must be a carriage house, that larger home of the outbuildings,
mm-hmm.
larger building of the outbuildings. And It's got to be a carriage house. And given its location, given it's behind the house, given that they deliberately put it away from the rest of the homes, um, they're but you can
Yeah,
barely
can't
see
see that
the
far is what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah, you can barely see the far end of the carriage house. You can barely see the far end of the mansion.
Mhm.
There's just so many trees around and brush, about hip high brush and grass. And so you could climb a tree, not super high, because I know you're not in love with that, and at least have some vantage on him. Or, and then, there's rocks. This is a stony area. There's rocks all over the place. You know, a
Yeah, that's a
voice,
good idea. I forgot about trees, so we'll climb up a tree, and then make some noise.
right? And so the question
Rush
becomes,
out here, and I'll be.
so how far do you want to go before you find a tree? Like where?
Well, as close as possible because it's height that I'm going to try to get away from it, right?
Well, I'm saying, do you want to be? What location do you want to be? You want to be right by the
Yeah, I
entrance?
like super close to it. I'm assuming it like will run out here, won't see where I am, right? So,
Right, but you could be several trees back, for instance, and
but
have
then more people will hear me. That's the problem. Is if I'm
not
right.
if you just throw a stone.
Okay. Okay. Good.
You
Good
can,
point. Good point.
right, and because you then it's just something falling in the buildings.
This is Karandrin role playing in a nutshell. So I'm going to climb a tree, 2 or 3 trees away.
Right.
Make sure I carry a stone and plug it at it to try to make some noise.
So let's do some sneaking, buddy. Let's sneak you over there.
I'm like such a cowardly adventurer, but it's like, but I have to because this thing will kill me, whatever it is.
Well, I do make the game very unknown, and I don't think that
No, I'm joking about that.
No. But I mean, seriously, but also just for the viewers, for future viewers, if they watch this and they go, why don't you just charge in there? Well, because you literally don't know what you're facing here, because an adventurer wouldn't, you know. All right, what'd you roll?
49.
Fairly quiet. Lala is still watching. As her eyes kind of adjust to the dark, can make out a bald humanoid head and bare back, sort of a sickly yellow skin and kind of a gaunt body. Um, but it's like it's laying on the ground and lifting itself up. It's very strange. It's turning its head, clearly trying to hear. You're probably going to need 3 more rolls to make it to the tree you want.
Okay. 28.
You make some noise. The creature does tense, but remains in its lair.
Okay.
Roll again.
10. There's yell, fuck you.
It drags itself out on its hands. Lala watches it as it drags out. It has a human body and waist, which then merges with this bulbous, maggot-like, sickly yellow, slimy body.
Oh, interesting.
And it crawls, pulling this thing behind it. It slides out on this mucus and it supports itself. You are about, you really can't see it from where you are. It's not much higher than the grass, and you've got a lot of trees in between you and it.
Yeah.
You are about halfway between that near corner of the mansion and the stables.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sort of drew a line from that corner, say to the middle of the stables, that's where you are. Maybe I should just hop to the document and click somewhere. That would be a great thing.
That would be brilliant, Kevin.
Kevin, concentrate. What are you doing, buddy? Right there. Let's use a red dot. No, I don't want to use a red dot. Let's use a green dot. What color is this? Oh, there's a bright green. We'll use bright green for you, and we'll use red for where you kind of sense. Wow, did that not work? Why are you not? That's so weird. I thought that would be more visible. Can you see that?
Yes, little green
Okay.
dot.
And then we'll use red for, you know, unknown threats. Why is it so small? I don't understand. There we go. No, that is so weird. Why did that work so well? So something like that.
Hey, buddy,
Um,
you don't look so good.
so what is wrong with your dot? I don't care for that. I'm going to change that dot. Why was that not just a nice dot? What's going on?
How's everybody else doing? Well, Kevin's dotting his eyes.
Yeah, I'm dotting my Brise.
Everybody having a
Why
good
is it
evening.
not giving me a dot like the other color did? That is so weird. I have to move it all around. So weird. Okay. So it's you probably 70, 80 feet away from it,
Right.
but you can't really see it. Um, the smell is better here, but you can't help but assume that that smell is coming from the creature.
Yeah. I'm gonna put. Hmm, I want to take out my bolas, for a ranged attack. I guess I'll put away my shield. Just have the bolas in my left hand and my spear in my right hand,
Okay.
ready to chuck stuff at it. Basically, I'll. Well, I mean, he's out now. I mean, might as well sneak towards him. Or if he starts coming towards me, I can't see him yet. Well, I'll just stay put. Use Lala to see where he's headed. Assuming he can't move really fast.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to think what. The ceiling fan in here is rattling a little bit, and it sounds so much like someone just quickly clicking a mouse. It's not done that before. And I keep looking up, going, "Is Max working on something? What am I hearing?" Yeah, oh God, driving me crazy now.
Ha! Kitty clackety.
So it moves a little bit forward, sliding again on this thing. I mean, this thing is just it is sickening to look at. It is very gaunt. The ribs are, the skin is drawn over the ribs. Um, and it has these large yellow eyes, and otherwise, it's just sort of a stern, bald head. Um, um, it listens for a moment, and then it sort of gags, and this orb comes out, this pearly white orb about the size of a golf ball. It murmurs and then waves its hand over it, and it lifts up and it closes its eyes and seemingly concentrates. What would you like to do, if anything?
I will. Am I? Oh, I'm seeing this through Lala. I mean, I still can't see any of this happening from me, and
No.
I'll stay put, not move. Can't make a sound if I'm not moving, right? Or can I? Achoo!
You
Roll.
eventually will shift a foot. You know what I mean? That's the
Right,
kind
right. Roll the sneeze. 12.
of that is today's sneeze number. And for guessing it, 50 Karandrin points.
Oh, fantastic.
That would be interesting to do that for rewarding character play, especially when you turn down a big advantage. That would be kind of fun, and you could just use Karandrin. That would be fun to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
That would be fun to do. I'll think about that. That'd be hilarious.
other role playing games have stuff like that. When you get knocked out or you take penalties instead of the good stuff, you get points. You use
Right.
other ways, more creative, interesting ways.
I like those character building systems that are point buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are neat. Like if you take a disadvantage, you'll then get extra points, and I think that's fun to do.
Yeah. It creates diverse characters of lots of flaws
Yeah,
and
yeah, and but kind of encourages you to take a flaw.
right.
Um,
Here's this maniac here. I'll wait a little while, see if he
um,
moves.
it opens its eyes. It looks. Um, it looks toward the house, which is kind of in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it takes a deep breath inward. You see its ribs swell, almost dislocate, like it's really upsetting. And then it blows this yellow mist that moves against the wind toward you.
Oh my
I mean, you have plenty of time to move, but it is definitely, I mean, you see it coming, you
Yeah.
know.
I will. I think I'm gonna have to engage this guy. Let me try to sneak at him from the side. I'm thinking.
So maybe go straight down to the, go straight to the stables.
Yeah, to the stables, and then we'll try to creep
All right,
toward.
roll it.
52.
Fairly quiet.
When I reach the stable, I'll check again with Laula. Unless I can see him from where I am at the stables.
Yeah, I should have you check sort of on your way. It's probably going to take you probably one more roll to get down there.
19.
It snaps its head in your direction. Yeah, you guys lock eyes.
Okay.
It just makes an ugly sort of yellow tooth grimace at you. It's about 50, 60 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
There's still plenty of trees in between you. Let's have you roll to see how you the shock of being discovered. If you deal with that well, then we'll give you a chance to roll for initiative. If not, it's probably going to attack it.
36.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a shot off first.
Okay.
So it clearly casts some sort of incantation and sort of slashes at you with its wide yellow hands. Um, um, and there is a strange bluish light in your eyes. Roll.
20.
There is a heat on your face. You take 5 damage. Your skin feels very strange. And you are stunned for 3 rounds.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say it is 9:30, and I'm stunned for 3 rounds. That's probably gonna be a little while.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. So, what we'll do, I think, you and I, is what we'll do is we'll have you have explored at least some of the obelisks before you do this.
Sure, yeah, we can
And we'll
retro.
just sort of rewrite history that way. We'll inform people, then we'll get back to the fight next week. Um, and so, um, I think that's a good place. Um, um,
Yep. Then we come back in some crazy cool combat.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting. This is a thoroughly disgusting creature.
I love disgusting fantasy. It's like a whole genre.
Well, all right. Well, thank you all for joining us for our 20th episode. I hope you had a good time with it. We'll be back next week, barring my health problems, but I'm going to do everything I can to push through those. And we're going to have episode 21. As always,
Be old enough to drink.
that's right. As always, you know, like and subscribe and spread the word. And we're going to,
Just change the views.
yes. What?
Oh,
What was that? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. That is my bad. And now we'll move this one over here.
yeah.
So,
Read it and weep.
that's right. But please do go look at Max on YouTube. You see the link right there where he discusses video game, the role of music in video games, examining how it affects gameplay and original soundtracks and so on. He's going to have some new videos up soon, according to him.
According to my sources.
That's right. Also, go check out Tortolua, or by the web page there for art samples by Elliot Dunovitz, who did our fantastic character of Brise, the art for that. And hey, if you like a fantasy novel, there's my novel, Shore Too Far. But go and donate, have fun, spread the word, have a great time, and we will see you next week for episode 21. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. Say goodbye to the nice people, Max.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Kevin. Happy 20th, Karandrin. Glow sticks. They're not really glowy anymore.
That's right.
But yeah. Hope have 10 more, and then we'll have a little celebration.
Yes, we'll keep it up, and thank you for sticking with me, Max, for 20. I really appreciate it. I've greatly enjoyed game mastering for you, so I look forward to doing it more and more, and we will we'll have a great time building Brise's story. So. Thanks to everybody. Go check out those links. Go check out my book. Go check out the donor page. Like, subscribe, follow, all of that great stuff. And we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.